Hello, Asaf.
Hello. Hey there.
You are speaking with InfoMusic, and we have 13 questions for you. Hopefully, they'll bring me luck.
Okay.
I'll start with the first one. The remix version of your single, One Day, was a massive hit in our country, so I'm sure a lot of people are eager to hear you live. What have you prepared for us? Anything special that we should know about?
I think what's prepared is the exact opposite of the remix, which is kind of ironic because I hope people that come to the show know that the remix is not my kind of music. It's a remix of my music. My music is folk, blues, rock. That's where I come from, jazz. And the remix is something that I've never planned, and I often said in interviews that I don't even like. So I hope the people that do come to the show are looking to see the full artist and not just the remix, because they're really not going to get it.
Okay. You've been in the music industry for a considerable amount of time. You have 3 albums with your band, the Mojos, and now you are concentrating on your solo career. How was the journey in music so far?
For me, it's been, I don't know, it's been surreal in a way because everything happened very quickly for me, you know. The first time I picked up a guitar was at the age of 26, and 2-3 years later we were already touring, you know, around the globe, and so it's been fairly, I don't know, natural to me.
When did you discover you have a passion for music?
I didn't really discover I have a passion. I started making music because the catalyst was a breakup in my life. I split up with my girlfriend after 6 years, and I kind of lost interest in everything in my life at the point, and I needed to find a tool to express myself with, to understand what these new emotions that I was facing, and to give them an outlet. And I found music as just a tool of doing that. It's still, I wouldn't call it a passion. I would just, it's a device that I use in order to understand myself.
And to express all those feelings. That's
exactly.
What kind of music did you enjoy listening when you were a child?
I guess it would be rock music. That was the first kind of music that I was into in the 90s. I was just becoming a teenager, and, you know, bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden were just starting out, and I guess that was the music that I first started listening to. But then you realize that they were influenced by rock from the 60s and the 70s, so you start listening to Led Zeppelin and you start listening to the Doors and stuff, and then you realize that they were influenced by people like Elvis and Dylan and whatever, and you go back to the blues, you go back to
the roots.
The Muddy Waters, Johnny Hooker, Nina Simone, Billie Holiday. So that's what I listen to mainly now.
You have a very distinctive tone, something that in the music industry is called a signature voice. Did somebody close to you hear you and encouraged you to follow a musical career, or was it just your decision?
No, nobody told me I should pursue a musical career. I was an animator when I was living with my girlfriend, and
really,
and everything was great. You know, I was a successful animator. I made a good living, and just because of the breakup, I found myself, you know, alone all of a sudden, and I left my job because I was really in real kind of depression, and I started singing for myself, and because of the amount of surprise and pain and just pure self-absorbed self-pity, you know, it's just, I needed to scream, I needed to go louder, I needed to give a voice to everything that was happening inside. So I just started kind of going through those high high-pitched places in my voice to express those feelings. Because right now, when I talk to you, it's, I'm communicating ideas, but I'm not communicating feelings. You understand what I'm saying, but you don't feel what I'm saying.
Yes.
So I use there's a wide spectrum to the human vocal cords that I like to use.
I know you also play the guitar and the harmonica. You said earlier that you learned to play the guitar when you were 26. How about the harmonica?
It's the same with the guitar. I didn't really learn to play. I play it, but I can't say I'm a harmonica or a guitar player. I taught myself, and I probably around the same time, because the people that I was listening to, Bob Dylan or Neil Young, that's what they were doing. They were playing guitar and playing harmonica at the same time, and I just that's what I wanted to be or do.
As a songwriter, you often choose themes like death, love, hope. Where does your inspiration come from? Does it come from your personal experiences, or also from books, movies, art of any form? I
think any artist, it doesn't matter what your media that you use is, but any artist is a sponge. He absorbs or she absorbs the world around her. You cannot be out of. Of course, every movie, every music, every book, every person, every country I've been to influences me in some way or another, but it's not obvious influences. It's not like, okay, I grew up in Jamaica, so you can hear reggae in my music. They're much more subtle, but I think everything influences you, and at the end of the day, everything is personal, because all the world around you comes in through this mind brain of your body and becomes something different, and you translate it in your own brain and eyes and heart, and then you express it outwards, and it becomes your own. So I think it's every artist, it's the same. It's very personal and it's very social. The next question in my list would be about the influences in your music, rock, folk, blues, indie, but you already told me about those. So I'm going to skip to the next one. Who would you love to collaborate with? There's so many people that I admire their work, like Dylan and Leonard Cohen, who's still around, and Tom Waits, Fiona Apple, Jack White. There's literally tens and tens of people that I admire their music, but I have to say that it's not something that appeals to me to collaborate. Like I said, it's a very, very personal, therapeutic thing to me to make music, and to involve other people in it is somehow strange to me. It somehow takes away the whole point. But of course, if Leonard Cohen would call me to do a duet with him, I'll be up for that. So but I don't think it's not going to happen anytime. Never say never. I hope, yeah. What artists or bands are in your current playlist? I just got an old record player, and I have a lot of vinyl albums of kind of jazz and blues. So Howling Wolf and Nina Simone are kind of burning the record player right now. I've read in an interview that you are planning at some point to buy an old house in Italy and renovate it. Could you tell me what is it about Italy that captivated you and made you think about buying a house there? I have to say it's not really about Italy. Italy is just the dream. It's about finding an old country house, and it can be Italy, or it can be Greece, or it can be Spain, or I like the Mediterranean because that's where I come from. I live in Tel Aviv near the Mediterranean Sea, and so that's the weather I'm used to and the people that I'm used to. So, but in Israel, I can't really find those big old villas, or with a lot of space and place to plant trees and stuff, because Israel is very, very small. So the dream was to kind of find maybe in Italy or Spain or South France or something,
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say that it's a plan that's still there, but it always gets postponed. There's always something that gets in the way. You know, I go on another tour and I want to record another album, and you know, I'm 80% of the year I'm on tour, so there's not even time to look for houses.
Mm-hmm. So you said earlier that you like the seaside. Are you planning on visiting the seaside here in Romania?
I'm not sure I'll have time because it's a tight schedule tour. You know, touring always sounds great from the outside. Oh, you go to see places and stuff, but really you see the bus and the plane and the backstage. That's what you usually see of the city. So I don't think I'll have time to go to the beach, but I am looking forward to it because my grandparents are originally from Romania.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Kind of, yeah, well, like most Israelis, I mean, Israel is a young country made of immigrants. Most of them came after or during the World War II. So my grandparents ran away from Romania at the time, and it's interesting for me to go back to the place that, you know, could have been my home in a different sort of life.
So this trip will be very interesting for you.
Yes, almost like an ancestor trip.
So I'll thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to hearing you at Wonder Day.
Yeah, I can see you there.
And could you send a message to all our readers?
I don't know. I'm just happy to be there, and it's still a mystery to me why people come to see something that is so personal to me. It's an honor and a pleasure to come over there and play music for you.
It's an honor and a pleasure also for us. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.